Welcome, everybody, to the
I'm Fat podcast.
Snacks are best saved for later.
With Jay Zawaski.
That man ate all our shrimp and 2 plastic lobsters.
And Rick Camp.
Out the mist came a beast more stomach than man.
Welcome into another edition of the I'm Fat podcast, brought to you by our sponsors, Charlie the Bacon Guy, Mazda of Orland Park, and Frato's Culinary Kitchen.
Yes.
More to come on that very shortly. I am Rick Camp alongside fellow fat Jay Zawaski. And Jay, I feel like this week in the Chicagoland area, at least for you and I, has been much better temperature wise. Like it's maybe like today, because we're recording on Sunday, it's been a little gloomy, like kind of the is it gonna rain, is it not gonna rain? But man, the temperatures have dropped. Like the beating on the forehead has stayed at beating. Like it has not gone into full profusely sweating very often. This has been like a prime summer week for fats.
Yeah, it's been nice, a nice reprieve for all of us. I was outside all day today for a family party. I would even venture to say I was a little bit cold. Like that's the kind of day it was today. Like it was really overcast and there was a lot of wind. So it was actually like cooling things off a little bit, which was nice. Because you figure outdoor party August 14th, you're going to be sweating your balls off. But so today was perfect for an outdoor party.
Your butt crack and your balls?
My butt crack and my balls. Exactly right. All right, before we start, we forgot to do this last week. Make sure you're following us on social media at I'm Fat Pod. That includes TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We've got our Facebook fan page, the I'm Fat Podcast fan group page, which is always a lot of fun. You can email us, imfatpod@gmail.com. The Fat Phone, 708-858-3314. Remember, September 1st, Rick and I are going to record with the Weber Grill Master. A bunch of good questions are coming in, so thank you for those. But keep them coming. We want to have as many good questions for the Grill Master as we can get. I also sent out shirts this week.
Oh, shit.
Finally. And I screwed up our buddy Matt Urich, who has been on board with us since like day one. I sent him a pair of shirts, and I use stamps.com. And we don't actually advertise for them, even though every other podcast on Earth does.
Yeah.
But I use it, and it's like sometimes it'll say like, what you're shipping will be cheaper on UPS. Would you like to switch? So yeah, sure. I do that to save a buck or whatever. And then I went in and put it in a mailbox. So I'm like, shit. So I called Hope and I'm like, can you intercept the mail carrier? She's like, no, they're not going to, they'll just take it out and put it with the UPS stuff. It'll be fine. Yeah. And sure enough, it worked out, but I was freaked out by that. And our TeePublic shop. Tons of people buying stuff on the TeePublic shop this week.
Nice.
We appreciate it very much. That link is in all of our social media bios. It's just Linktree. It's at linktr.ee/I'mFatPod. It's how their site works. But just go to any of our social media pages and you'll find that bio there. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to start this here show with a big-ass commercial for Frato's. Because I've been telling everybody for a couple months now that Frato's was catering Grandma Cookie's 100th birthday party, which we had today. And this morning, Hope and I woke up, had to drive out to Schaumburg to be there at noon and pick up the food. And we get to Frato's. We're a little bit early, maybe like right on time. And everything's ready to go. They've got a table with all of our stuff on it. There's Joe and his crew is there helping us get everything loaded into the car. They're giving us advice like, hey, you know, like these pans might leak a little bit, so you're going to want to put a blanket under them and maybe put them here instead. Exactly. So put them here instead of there and this and that. So we've got all this food for 100 people. Pack the car. We've got Italian beef, chicken, lemon chicken. Oh, my God. I'll tell you about all the food in a second.
Yes.
Pasta salad. You know, the buns all ready to go. All the silverware, the sternos, like everything you needed was ready to go. We were in and out the door at Frato's in 5 minutes, and it would have been quicker had I not ordered the El Masivo Gringo cheese stick today. I'm like, hey, today's the day, right?
Oh.
And Joe's like, oh, yeah, this is it. I'm like, I'll take one to go, please, and a Diet RC. And the funniest thing, before we get into the catering, is we take the El Masivo Gringo out, and it is... If you saw Tommy Lee on the internet today, multiply that by like 3. That's how big this cheese stick is, okay? And if it's someone else, if it's a normal person, multiply it by like 6. But yes, it's like 4 Tommy Lees, and that's impressive. So, I'm holding my hand apart here, and it's at least 12, 14 inches or so of mozzarella stick. And this one's got some spice in the cheese and some taco seasoning.
Yeah.
So we're trying to eat it in the car, which isn't going well.
Good luck.
It's so big. So we finally get to Orland and to Tinley Park, rather, where we had the party, and hoping I finally take a bite. And I tell Addie, hey, because she slept over at my in-laws last night.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, come to the car. She's like, what? What are you going to show me? And I showed her. She's like, oh my God. And I saw her go back to the car 3 or 4 times in the course of the party, and then just come out I'm like, are you just taking cheese stick trips? Yes, she was.
That's awesome.
That was great. But the catering, so we've got 100 people, and when it's a 100-year-old person's party, people are going to be picky, right? Hope's grandma loves Italian beef. She loves Bona. She does not like Portillo's. She won't even eat Portillo's beef.
Wow.
So I was a little bit I hope this is, because I never had Italian beef from Frato's. I've had a ton of other stuff, and it's all great. Open this up immediately. The smell is great. The beef was awesome. It was so damn good. I think we had 3 pans of it. All of it gone. 3 big pans of it. We had a bag and a half of Toronto rolls left. That's it.
Wow.
So everybody had multiple sandwiches. The kids were coming back for seconds, which is always a good sign. They had a tin of grilled peppers, a tin of onions. We had some jardinere there. And then the thing that I loved the most was the lemon chicken. It was in I don't even know, and maybe Joe will hear this and almost it was in a buttery, almost like a creamy broth. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm going to do a bad job of explaining it, but there was a sauciness to the lemon, and then you would scoop the whole thing with the chicken, and it was just little chunks of grilled chicken. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was absolutely perfect. People were coming to me and Hope and thanking us for the food. I said,
nice.
We just can't we went to pick it up from Frato's. That's all we did, right? They made it. It was great, and people are writing down Frato's information. Nice. I got to use them for a party, or I got to go visit that place. And I was telling them, I had a picture of the cheese stick, which you can see if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/I'mFatPodcast, and people were like, "Oh, I'm going to this place next time I'm out that way."
Nice.
And what I hadn't realized is how close it is to the Schaumburg Boomers Stadium, and that's something a lot of people will visit. During the course of a summer, and and they're not from Schaumburg. So if you're going to a Boomers game, you're 8 to 10 minutes from Frato's. So
which is striking distance.
Yeah.
That means go there, depending on how you structure your meals.
Yep.
Now, whenever you go to a game, you have to figure out your meal schedule. That's one of the big things.
Right.
So you either go ahead of time and realize once you sit down in that seat, you're going to be there for a hot minute, because once all the Fredo settles, it is the happiest full you will get, or you go afterwards. Either way is great.
Well, if you go before, you're going to save a hell of a lot of money on concessions, because you're going to be there and you're going to be full. So just plan on that. But yeah, it's right there by Boomer Stadium. 628 South Roselle Road in Schaumburg is the address, and you kind of have to pass it to get to Boomer Stadium, unless you're coming from Bartlett. Pretty much everybody,
our dead area, of the northwest burbs. It's funny, I was looking at the Fat Map this week, and I was like, boy, it really is a stark contrast. It is west and south.
Yeah, that's where we live.
North and west, pay no mind list.
Well, look, if you're from the north or the west in that area, hit us up. I'm fatpod@gmail.com. Give us a couple places to try. We're going to get out we'll start doing more Chewing the Fats as the weeks go on here.
So I think when I start my trucks up to Minnesota, I think I go by my Cocina Grill, Rush Schneider's second home. I assume that's what it is because all it says on the outside is My Cocina. So if it's not, that's a really big coincidence and someone's got an issue there.
Home of
in
Rush
terms
Schneider.
of naming. Yeah, seriously. So one of these times, I'm going to have to hit that up. I think it's like right on 59.
All right, well, and you know how all the social media accounts are like tied together now, like Instagram is TikTok, and so it's impossible to like for me and Rick to have the TikTok login. But Rick, production meeting on the air.
Okay.
If you go to these places, just take a video and send it to me, and I'll put it together. That's real easy. So yeah, if you're doing something and I can't be there or whatever, just send a video along, and I'll edit it together. And there's going to be a TikTok about my experience from Fratos, and
There was another one you had this week?
Yes, there was. And I know you've got some Hostess on your mind, too. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell me what you got, and then I'll tell you what I tried.
Okay, so we'll do the food part of it
I
before
said
the
that like
experience.
a...
Hey,
yeah. Wacky DJ. That's weird.
Dude, another thing that's like signs that like ad companies are always like getting our information. Now I'm starting on podcasts and stuff. I'm getting commercials for Minnesota. I got a commercial for a Minnesota radio station.
Interesting
Like,
how that works.
I've been going there too much. So I was at Menards, and I'll talk about the full Menards experience in a little bit. Because
I love how this is so. You texted me like, they have groceries at Menards. I'm like, yeah, dude. You're not a homeowner though. You have no reason to be at Menards.
Right. Oh, I'm going to in a bit. Like once some things settle down here, I'm gonna have some projects to get done. Yes. Okay. So I was there, and I saw the Hostess section. Because essentially, it sure seems like Menards is like, oh, you have a product we like. We'll take all your products. Yep. Hostess Crispy Minis.
Yep.
Cookies and cream.
I see. Sometimes I try stuff on a Monday.
Yeah.
And I forget about it by the time the podcast comes.
Same here.
This is something I've had before. I bought them with my mom, and they are amazing. While Rick's opening them, they're kind of like wafers. Like, not Necco wafers, but...
the Vortman?
Yes, like a Vortman's wafer. Yeah, but it's covered in here. Rick's holding it up to the camera. Cookies and cream. Yes. Crumble on top. Mm-hmm. Give it a try, Rick. Give that a taste. Good texture, right? Mm-hmm. It's got that wafery texture, but not too much.
Extremely light.
Yeah.
Which I love that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yep. That's a problem.
It's not a problem. It's a good thing.
It's a great thing, just not when you're like, I want 20 of these.
Well,
whilst I'm recording a podcast.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is 20 of them is a lot, but they're good, and they're worth it. Yes, those are really good. What are they called again?
Crispy Minis.
Crispy Minis. Okay. Yes.
Hostess Crispy Minis.
And I think they come in like other Hostess varieties too.
Yes, there were a decent amount.
So I had the Hostess Bouncers. There's Twinkies and Ding Dongs. At least that's what I saw at Mariano's, and I got the Twinkies.
Yeah,
one.
buddy.
And this
Twinkies,
is on
Ding Dongs, and Bouncers.
Yes. So this is on the.
That's Jay's diabetic pornographic version of diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Dude, I'm telling you. So I get these Twinkies, and I'm making the TikTok, and I'm trying to find graphics to go with it.
Yeah.
There's this very off-putting graphic that I use of like a smiley emoji that is like inhaling Twinkies. I'm like, you got to be clear that that's a Twinkie. Speaking of Tommy Lee again. But yeah, so got those. So these are the Bouncers they come in, every box has like 5 packages of these. Mm-hmm. And it's 3, I would say probably about like the size of a munchkin and a half. So a good size, like small ball. Sure. And it's a Twinkie, and it's cream filled, but it's glazed. So the addition to this is they glaze it instead. And
nice.
I had kind of complained about Twinkies lately that for whatever reason, the breading had been like drier than it used to be. I used to remember it was real moist, like it would stick to your fingers. Mm-hmm. And they kind of gotten rid of that. Well, that problem is solved with these Bouncers because I think the glaze is what locks in whatever moisture. This is something I never say. And I have said this about, I have made fun of people for saying this, but it was almost too sweet. Like, I felt my foot falling off as I was eating this thing. Like it was Rick. It was sick. Like I had it and loved it. Like if you watch the TikTok, you can see that I love it. Mm-hmm. But I like ate the 3 of them, and then I'm driving, and I'm like, your mouth gets like gummy from all the sugar.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, that was a lot. Like that was a lot of sweetness for one. And I got to be honest, like they're in my kitchen, and I haven't gone back and gotten them again because I'm just like, do I want to invest that much sugar into like that small of a snack? So the little 3-pack is like 25 grams of sugar, which is really, it's the same as a Snickers, but it just felt like, my God, it was a lot. More. Yeah. I don't know. It was good. Like, again, it was good. The aftermath wasn't great. I just had like the sweetness in my mouth, and I need to take like a piece of mint gum to like cut through the, you know what I'm talking about? Like when you have too much sugar, your saliva gets like syrup.
When someone messes up and they have a dessert that's too sweet on like any of these competition shows, they're like, it needs some sort of acid. It needs fruit. It needs something.
Yeah. You got to cut this sweetness with something. Yep. And I've never been like, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. That's not a thing. Right. But yeah, this
only
is
only for the extremes.
This is pretty intense in terms of the sweetness. I would imagine that the Ding Dong one would be a little bit better, a little more palatable.
Yeah.
Because that sort of comes with a glaze on it anyway.
Sure.
So it's not adding anything to what's already there. But I would say each one had a good amount of Twinkies filling inside of it.
Okay.
So if you're a Twinkies fan, I think you'll love this. But just know, like, have some water or something, or some lemonade or something to help.
As I'm like 3/4 or 2/3 of the way already through water on this podcast alone.
Me too. I'm drinking the BioSteel. This is the NHL, in all their wisdom, got rid of Gatorade and brought in BioSteel.
Well, yeah. Why would they want Gatorade?
Right. So I got this as a gag for the CHGO Blackhawks podcast, but I actually really like it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm buying it wherever I see it.
Nice.
But the BioSteel comes in these like cardboard kind of like the little oat milk boxes. This is the blue raspberry, but there's a bunch of other ones. BioSteel is really good. I'm a fan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So Menards.
Yes, we got sidetracked.
So Menards. And so here's my experience when I go to Menards, because I'm in a condo. So generally if there's something I need from Menards, I know exactly what I need. It's just like one thing, and I can pretty much, get in and out fairly quickly. Generally, I don't have to go to the back of the store, because the back of the store is where all the big boy stuff is. I don't necessarily need the big boy stuff.
Right.
So I go to the back of the store because, how many people have recommended, like, hey, check out the snack stuff at Menards. Holy shit, dude. Like, they got a lot. For one thing, just the sheer amount of groceries. Like, it's essentially, if you took the health stuff out of Walgreens and just doubled the amount of space for the food, like, that's kind of what it is.
That's a good comp. That's true.
So when I was in there, I took notes on things that I saw at Menards that I did not purchase, but intriguing, and I don't know if I've ever seen. Well, for some of these, I don't know if I've ever seen these before.
Okay.
So the fact they had books was odd to me.
Yeah.
Like, books is like, okay.
And DVDs no one wants.
Yeah. It was full TV series. Like, that's what they had in there. Was like a bunch of full complete series. Glasses. They had like reading glasses.
Well, so you got books.
I guess, yeah. Greeting cards.
I've never noticed that, but that's a good call.
I saw that there. I'm like, that's interesting. All right, now to the stuff that either I feel like I haven't seen for a while, or I just don't go down the right aisles when I'm in the store. Snack packs.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of snack packs.
By the way, surprising that is not kept cold to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that does seem odd.
Yeah.
So this is something I'd never seen before. Brownie brittle Reese's Pieces.
Brownie bro. Oh.
Yeah,
yes.
so for people that like that crap, then
everyone but you, yes.
Yeah, right, yeah. Everybody's wrong. We've established that.
Yes, everybody's wrong but you.
Yeah, and Jason Leisure, to be fair. Jason Leisure and I are in lockstep.
Another non-curmudgeon.
Yes. So That was something I'd never seen before. Dove chocolate pudding.
Oh. Is it like in a box or is it already made?
Box.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in a box, but I was like, I don't feel like I've ever seen Dove branded pudding.
That's got to be good.
Yeah, there's no way it's not.
Yeah.
Like if it's bad, it's user error. Like there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
Keebler oatmeal raisin.
Like cookies?
Yeah.
I've never seen those in my
I
life.
get Tony Gill would like that, but it's like that's why I'm like, okay, so Menards makes a deal with a brand, and they say we will take all of your products. Like we will take every variety of your product that you got. Keebler's like, oh, these oatmeal raisin things have been sitting on the back of our shelves collecting dust. They can go.
No one's buying these.
They can go to Menards now.
Yeah, there's
Take
so
up
many
space
better
on their
keyboard
shelves.
choices. Like
Right.
it's like 75th on the keyboard depth chart.
Yes, exactly. Except to stupid Tony Gill. Okay, and the last one, every variety of Spreckers you could ever imagine.
Correct.
I had no idea about some of the flavors and stuff. So, like, I went once and I was kind of on a time crunch, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to come back. And they still have like all the like generic stuff, like your fruit slice candies, and like they have the dumbass circus peanuts for my uncle. Yeah, he's the only person alive I know that likes those.
I do like fruit slices though.
Fruit slices are great. Circus peanuts are an abomination.
Yeah, well, it's like and I like marshmallow. That's not marshmallow.
Yeah. No,
that's like
that's
styrofoam.
not. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those don't deserve to exist. More or less be in stores.
Right.
So like that was something that I just didn't see. But like even just like the different varieties of like frozen pizzas that they have, like some of the other stuff, they've got all your cereals. I was able to get a new thing of my shampoo and body wash while I was there.
Oh.
I'm like, what is going on here?
Look at you.
Yeah, because not every place has the old Irish Spring aloe body wash.
Okay.
That's my jam.
I'm still loyal to Dr. Squatch after all these years, but Irish Spring smells good.
Yes, it does.
Some good shit.
Yes, I was loyal to Dr. Squatch as long as I had it. And then once
As
I
long as they were
didn't, I'm
loyal
like,
to us.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's what it is. And there was something that was mentioned, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago on the podcast, that I found on an end cap there that kind of started the old shopping spree.
Oh, yeah. I got to try this.
Montreal steak chips.
Those can't be bad. Are you going to taste these now?
Goddamn right I am.
Yes. Let's go. Give me a good
Montreal
crunch.
steak seasoning, ruffled ridged chips.
All right.
All right.
Ooh, good crunch. Hold that up to the camera. I want to see it, not the one in your mouth. Another one in the bag. I want to see how thick that chip is. How many C's would you give it? Turn that sumbitch sideways. All right, see, I see what you're looking at.
I would say that's
like a ruffle.
C's?
Is that a ruffle thickness?
Yeah, it's much. Yeah, it's like a ruffle.
That's solid. How is it?
It's pretty good. I was almost worried it was going to be like too much, because
it doesn't look over seasoned on the chip.
No,
anyway.
it doesn't. It's like if you're someone that you're like, I kind of like Montreal steak seasoning, you'll like it. If you're someone that loves it, you'll like it.
Okay.
So it is,
Yeah, those look good. I've had my eye on those since I saw them on the fan page.
Yeah, because like I think some of the problems that companies have is when they have this like different type of seasoning, they over season. They just coat the chips in it. This is not coated. This is like, this is like Salt Bay going through with his Montreal steak seasoning and just, doing one of those.
Just give it a little dab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a highly, highly recommended. It's the Hers brand. The Hers brand Grill Mates Montreal steak seasoning.
All right. I think Hers is Hers a Menards specific brand, or is it maybe also at Aldi?
I don't know, but it is awesome. So this is what it looks like for those keeping score at home and that are watching at youtube.com/I'mFatPodcast.
Yeah, that looks outstanding, and I will be finding those this week. I think I have to go to Menards this week for something. I'm sure I will. We have new furniture to move into the house, which we haven't done yet.
Oh, nice.
So I'll need some tool or something that I.
Yeah. So
Didn't have
when we're like coming up with our list of stuff for the show, and I just like bullet point it, and this one was just Menards as a vibe. That's just
I like
left
Menards.
it. Yeah,
I choose Menards over Home Depot. Actually did go there this weekend because I did bring in. I have new desks in my office. You can't see them because I'm using them. I'm like, these are great. I love them. They're exactly what I need.
yeah.
Except my microphone arm wouldn't clamp to the lip. The lip wasn't big enough. So I actually went and bought. I walked into like the wood section. There's these two guys. I'm like, I need a piece of wood, like a kid's block. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I buy that? They're like, just here, grab something from scrap and we'll cut it for you and you can just take it.
Nice.
So I did that, bought some brackets and installed this on the back of my desk, and now my mic arm works.
Nice.
Which is great. So I love Menards. They're just very helpful. It's a place like if you have a question, I would usually
they
say
feel approachable.
Ace is the best with that because it's just like retired handymen that just want something to do.
Well, yeah, it's the place for the helpful hardware store.
That's true.
Right? Isn't that what it is?
I would
Something
say
like
Home Depot, I have trouble finding anyone ever.
that? Yeah, pretty much.
Menards is kind of like the happy medium there. Well, they'll leave you alone, but then if you ask for
Right.
something, they're happy to help you.
And bonus points for the theme song.
Yes, good stuff. Good little a banjo ditty there. It's really
Yes.
nice. Hey, do you know what's not back in my life, Rick?
Your CX-5.
Still.
Sheesh.
I am still without my car. That accident was June 30th.
Might as well have been January 30th.
Seriously.
At this point.
It has almost been 2 full months since I've had my CX-5. Thankfully, I've got my CX-30 to keep me going. And it's always fun when driving back at midnight, 1 in the morning on I-57 where it's become the Autobahn and everyone drives like a dickhead and you just have to like just hope you make it home.
Yeah.
Feel very safe in that vehicle with all the like safety features and all that stuff. It's great. The lane departure warnings, all those things.
Yes.
And guess what? Like it can kind of zip through traffic itself if I let it. Love that car. I love the CX-5 and I got it at Mazda of Orland Park, 8910 West 159th Street. Give them a call, 708-444-3200. Ask for Eric Vates. Visit MazdaofOrlandPark.com. I've got the 22 CX-30, the 2015 CX-5, which will be back someday. We drove by like my exact CX-5 on the way to Schaumburg today. And I'm like, hey, Hope, remember when we used to have a car like that? And we have some family that lives close to us in Homewood. And Addie's cousin Ava's like, do you have 2 new cars? Like, no, I have Mazda, but then we've got the rental. She's like, but I saw like a white Hyundai, and now you've got a truck. Like, yeah, I'm switching out rental cars. It's a big pain in the ass.
You're actually required to go to Menards when you have the pickup.
Oh, you got to take it. You get instant credibility.
Yeah,
at
of
Menards.
course.
Yeah.
There was someone that did one of the rental trucks at
Also,
Menards.
everyone thinks you're racist.
True. So when I'm walking into Menards yesterday, someone is like, I'm in the aisle where they have like the rental, like just regular small pickups, like F-150s or whatever. And someone's backing out, and I realize they've either never driven a truck before.
Oh, yeah.
Or it has been a long time, because I mean, there is a good 3 feet at minimum between the person and this, like, because when they've put it into drive and they're starting to straighten out, I mean, there is so much room for them. And then they throw it in reverse to straighten it out even more. And like the way they then made that left-hand turn, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to crash this thing. There is no doubt this person has no idea how to drive. It's not even that big of a truck. It's like an F-150.
Yeah, it's a big pickup. Yep.
It's like, I want to say almost like a 90s or like early 2000s F-150, like POS at this point, but it drives.
Yeah, if you're
like, they trust people with it.
If you're not used to driving a truck, it can be intimidating. Even going from like the CX-30 to the Toyota Tacoma is kind of a big jump. And then when I had to move stuff from my uncle's house, I had to rent the U-Haul. And we got like
U-Hauls are a thing.
Yeah, we got like the 15-footer. In the first half hour, I'm white knuckling it.
Yeah.
Like, this is too much. I'm like driving down the highway. Like, I'm just terrified. And then you eventually like kind of ease your way into it. You get the feel for it. And it drives nice. It's just like, it is so much vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. So another quick sidebar. When I'm in college, one of my roommates and fraternity brothers, Chiari, is moving, and he's a guy that is from the city, rarely drove at all, had his license but didn't have a car. So he had to get a U-Haul, and he asked like if any of us were available like the day and time he needed to like go up to. I think Rockford was the closest one that had something available that he needed. So it's like, can we go to Rockford from DeKalb and get this thing?
Wow.
So we did, and being in a car with him in the U-Haul was an experience. He is yelling at drivers that are like driving perfectly normal and safe because he's so on 10 about it, about like driving the U-Haul or being in the U-Haul. It was one of the most entertaining and simultaneously concerning experiences of my life.
Well, it's, you know what, the concept of it is like you're putting ordinary people behind big ass trucks.
Right, and it's like they don't have the rear. It's not like they have the rear view mirror with that. People have to be used to using the side mirrors.
Yeah, they're not great. And the other thing is, as I was waiting to get mine, somebody had rented like the truck with the trailer hitch.
Yep.
And they're trying to back out.
And they don't understand.
They have no idea how to drive a trailer. Yeah. I don't either. But I would never rent one. I just get a bigger truck.
Right. Yeah. Like that's the thing is I'm like, I get it, but I haven't had to do it myself. Like that's why, like, man, seeing my dad when he was driving trucks and like some of the other guys, like just how narrow the space is, like, especially when my dad was a dispatcher for a while, we would have to go into work with him on Saturdays. So we would see like, it wouldn't get crazy packed, but sometimes you'd have to have like multiple trucks within the same because there's like a column that would separate like every other or every third. And you have like guys with the 53 footers that are like, just like backing in like it's nothing.
That's so cool to watch that. It is just, it's very impressive to see the big rig drivers like, oh yeah, I got this. Like, it's like two moves. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It would take me a year to do that. And I would take down an awning and it would just be a disaster.
Exactly.
That's always I could never do that.
They make up for their lack of clothes with their skill in driving a truck.
It's funny, like those trucks drive down the same roads as our like tiny ass cars, and like somehow we all fit in the same lane. It's kind of amazing.
It really is.
All right, we're a little behind, so I got to get to
us.
I got to get to this story. I shared this video on Twitter. This weekend was my aunt's inaugural Zawaski Pierogi-Fest. And anytime my aunt does something, it is over the top. This is the one who hosts a tree trimming party. She's done something called Polish Idol before, where the kids all get together and do some karaoke and there's prizes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So this was Pierogi Fest.
I'm such a bad guy. What's going through my head for that? Anywho,
don't know. I'm just gonna let it go. There was a Blackstone out there. There was a grill out there with griddles on it. And my uncles are just cooking up these pierogies. There's like potato, cheese. There was blueberry, which was an interesting one I'd never had before. My cousin Gary made corned beef and cabbage ones to represent the Irish part of the family. Yeah. And then potato, bacon, and onion ones. They had baked beans. They had pork tenderloin. Dude, it was so good and so fun. Then they also had like the big thing of butter noodles. And it was just... And potato pancakes.
You sent me the picture, or was it a video? And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, and everybody was just like, oh, so full. It was so great. And my cousin Stacy listens to every episode. I didn't know this. I knew she listened, but she listens to every episode. She's like, next year you got to bring Rick. I'm like, next year I will bring Rick. Rick will come to Pierogi. We'll do a broadcast from my aunt's driveway. Let me get on there. I got some thoughts about the Bears. Wrong podcast, Uncle John. Right. Yeah.
We are live.
We're live at Evergreen Park.
From Pierogi-Fest. And also, if you're walking by, lemonade, $1 a glass.
So Stacy's son, Billy, dressed up like my grandpa, who... he's never met my no, there's no way.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say he dressed up like a pierogi.
No, all right. Yeah, he did that too. So he had on, like my grandpa, white slacks all year round when he was actually wearing pants.
Okay.
Wingtips that were spray painted red. Yes, my grandfather did that too. A red, like a bowling shirt, like a Tony Soprano shirt.
Yeah.
And a white, like a Newsy cap, but like a little more of like a Samuel
Nice.
Jackson, like a Kangol. So
Black
this is what
socks?
he had white socks on, of course.
Okay.
And then over that, he had a pierogi costume. So I walked up, I'm like, hey, Grandpa. And he's like, what? I go, what do you think you're dressed like?
Yeah.
You're dressed like an old Polish man. Of course I'm going to call you Grandpa. And then my Aunt Julie had like a pierogi hat.
Okay.
It was like literally like a foam pierogi. My Aunt Joe, who was hosted the party, had pierogi earrings. It was just over the top. And
That's awesome.
What the other funny thing is, so not only are we incredibly full, we had to leave a little bit early because we went to see Murder by Death and Amigo the Devil at Talia Hall on Saturday. So
it's a logical progression.
they're like, oh, where are you going? And we're just like, we're going to a concert. Oh, really? Who are you going to see? They're called Murder by Death. People look at you like,
Yeah.
what?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, they're not like what they sound. They're kind of, it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek name. They're named after an old movie that was like the original Clue. But, you know, they kind of don't take themselves too seriously. But I was thinking about it today because I was listening to them as I was grinding away at MLB The Show. If the Game of Thrones...
Did you get your Griffey card?
No, I'm almost there. I have to, so I don't know if you're. We'll get to it. But so if I had to describe Murder by Death, imagine the Game of Thrones theme song.
Okay.
With like Johnny Cash on vocals.
Okay.
So it's like kind of like they call it murder folk. So they are. I've said this to you before.
Yeah.
If I was to like go into a lab and create a band, Murder by Death is what would come out. They are my favorite band. And last night it took me a song and a half to cry.
Wait, does Lydia know this?
It is what it is, man.
Man, you just.
I think
tossed
it's
her to the
it's
curb.
different. She's a solo artist. This is a band.
True.
So she remains my favorite solo artist.
Okay.
But yeah, Murder by Death is my favorite band. And then Amigo the Devil opened, and you would like Amigo the Devil because he would fit well on this podcast. Big man wore a Hawaiian shirt out there as he was singing the song. I hope your husband. He's got a song called "I Hope Your Husband Dies," which he wrote for his like bestie friend that he had a thing for.
Oh.
And then told the story, which I didn't know. Wrote that song for her. She's like, okay, very funny. Then him and the guy actually became friendly.
Really?
Then they got married. 4 months later, he died. So he's like, I felt partly responsible. Yeah, it was a little awkward. I might have the timeline wrong, but shortly after they got married, the guy who he wrote "I Hope Your Husband Dies" about actually died. So, yeah. So anyway,
has he asked her out yet?
that's a good question. He said she wrote him and said like, hey, you know, by the way, I don't know if you've heard, but my husband died. And he's like, I didn't know what to do except send her the song. Like they have that kind of relationship, I guess. Yeah. And he's like, you gotta laugh or you'll cry, right?
That's true.
So that was really funny. But God, what a freaking fantastic show.
Yeah.
And Talia Hall is amazing. It's just such like a low key. They've got like mixed gender bathrooms, which guess what? It's not a big deal. It's like, oh, there's a woman and a man. Like, hey, look at us. Like, no one died. And like shot in a beer for like $10.
Oh,
it's a great spot, and it's in Pilsen, so there's awesome food all around it.
Yep.
I was still too full from Pierogi-Fest, but then after the show, we went to Freddies, a different Freddies on 31st and Union, and just needed like some late night snacks. So Hope got a big like char dog, like they split it down the middle and grill it.
Yep.
And I got just chicken tenders, but the fries at Freddies. A week after I bitch about French fries. The fries at Freddies, they're like that double fry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude. Freddies is so... If you go into a Sox game, 31st and Union, there's Freddies is on the southwest corner.
Yeah.
On the northwest corner is Pancho Pistolas, which is my favorite steak burrito in the world. Yeah. So either place, we do a pre and post game right there at 31st and Union. Really, really good stuff.
And I'll do a quick shout out for probably still my favorite fry I've ever had at Centro Burger in Lombard. What is that? 1271 South Main Street. It's in a strip mall, and it's tough to see because they have no signage up, which makes me mad because I want to direct more people to them. But it's like in a strip mall, there's no signage above it, but on their door, there's a little like one of those flashing open signs. So if you're in that area, punch that address in. Once again, 1271 South Main Street, or just straight up go to the I'm Fat map.
Yep, it's on there.
Yeah, I say I'm pretty sure it's on there already. And get the fries, man. The fries are it's like take a double fried fry with paprika. Just give that kick to it, and yes.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Right.
You are. I would say this all the time. You are so blessed food wise.
Yeah, dude.
You
and
are
the thing
just-
is, I don't even take advantage of. Like, I'm bad. I don't even take advantage of as much of it as I should.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the issue is like, it's just you. I know it's always like a weird feeling, like walking in a place without somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I'm getting more comfortable, but it's also like you'd rather not.
Yeah.
You know, you'd rather go with people.
Still bummed
So-
out that Jen Puente from the Wisconsin State Fair is spoken for. Send her to the song, Rick. Send her, I hope your husband dies.
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah,
to
be
have
like,
some
this is
magical
why I
powers.
wasn't a glutton at your state fair this year.
Oh my God, there were so many things. So
I know.
when we're going to Frato's, Hope is reading me. There's a cheese curd taco shell there, but here's the thing I want to try the most. It was they took a cheddar jalapeno brat and like pieced it, slice, and then like curd, like a kebab, and then deep fried that into a corn dog.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's worth the trip alone, and like everything there, like Lakefront Brewing, who's got the best brewery tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love their brewery.
They had like foot-long cheese curds on a stick. Next year, we're going.
Yes.
We're going. Let's hope you and I are both in better places outside of the I'm Fat podcast where we can
to be
make
able
the
to do
schedule
this.
work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so much amazing stuff.
Okay. I have a cookie hot take.
Okay.
And this won't be that surprising to people that listen all the time. I never thought there could be something that could topple the double stuff Oreo.
Uh-oh.
But I was wrong.
What?
I have mentioned this on the podcast. But upon another eating, and by another eating, I mean 2 bags of eating.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, there's not that many that come in a pack, so judging is still obviously allowed, but
There's only 100 per pack. Yeah.
as I go into the drawer,
The drawer. Rick is opening the drawer and removing something. All right, let's see.
the Tim Tam Chewy Caramel is the best cookie out there.
That is a statement. That is a flat out hot take.
Now, some could say because of its price point, consider it versus number of cookies. But if we're talking like your prepackaged cookies, like not homemade, anything like that, because that's a different category, the best cookie out there.
That's
It's
a big statement.
It's ridiculous. Between like your 2 bits of like wafer, then like on the side, in the middle, you get the caramel. I actually kind of like that I'm putting this over my eyes for some reason.
So you don't feel shame.
Yeah, exactly. The caramel goes in the middle, and then there's like a little bit like nougaty chocolate on the sides, and then just chocolate covered.
Now, where do you get the Tim Tam?
The Jewels.
All right. How
The
late is
Jewels
Jewel
has
open,
it
by the
now.
way? I gotta run to the Jewels
Mine's
tonight.
like midnight.
All right, I gotta get
Oh,
there.
okay. Are flash sales a thing at every Jewel, or is that like a
Yeah.
okay? Because this week,
They also
there
give away
was-
free stuff all the time. You just need like a code word.
oh,
Yeah.
now I should have probably put out the clarion call, but I also didn't know if like what is on a flash sale is like location specific.
Oh, maybe.
or not.
I don't
Dot's
know.
original pretzels were on like the big bag, like the the
Yeah.
normal size bag was on a flash sale for $1.99.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Those
like
are
there
like
are
$4 or $5 a bag, aren't they? At
Oh
least?
no, they're like 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It was like I think it's like $8.99 a bag. They were on sale for $5.99 a bag, and they were on a flash sale for $1.99.
That's a damn good deal. Have you tried, by the way, the Dots cheese curls?
I haven't.
Yeah, I keep seeing them, and I'm like, I don't want to pay $7 for cheese curls I've never had.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
sure
the
they're
thing.
great, but it's not like Cheetos are broken by any means.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's a
but
great
yes.
deal.
Yeah. So I made sure, and mind you, I could only find one bag. So I'm just happy I found a bag. I don't know if they had just like a bunch extra, like that they're like, we got to, churn through some of these.
Yeah.
But man, getting a bag of those for $1.99 feels like stealing.
All right. I'm getting some of those cheese curls. I'm getting some Tim Tams for next week. We're got to get to Ask a Fat, but first I got to tell a story. You shared your medical information last week with your too many Oreos poops.
Yes. Yes, I did.
This week was my annual physical,
Okay.
and I went to the doctor and went through the whole rigmarole, breathe, let's look in your ears and nose, all that. Then came the old turn your head and cough. So it's like, okay, just drop your pants.
This is 40.
Yeah, right. So, drop your pants. Let me feel around. And
Hey, how's your father?
so, yeah, like, whatever. Goes quickly. She's like, everything looks fine. And she goes like, oh, by the way, I'm retiring in December. And I go, that's all it took, huh? I was very proud of myself for the quick wit.
That's really good.
And she was like, she's always very professional.
Yeah.
But she did kind of laugh at that a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey,
That's great.
I'm sorry. I had to break up the awkwardness. And she does it every day, 1,000 times a day. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal.
Right.
But she did it. She's like, taking the gloves off. Like, okay, everything looks good. Oh, by the way, in December, I'm retiring. That's all it took. I
That's
made you
really
quit
good.
After yeah. Well, it's understandable.
Dude, now you're gonna be in the same boat as me of, oh God, I gotta find a doctor.
I do have to find a doctor.
That stuff sucks.
I really like this doctor, and she's
Yeah.
older than me, but she's young. Maybe that doesn't make her young if she's older than me, but I was surprised. So
Yeah.
I do have to find one. By the way, big female doctor guy.
Same here.
Yeah, I just don't. I've never.
I had a male doctor at one point, and I don't know, like he wasn't bad at his job or anything.
He's kept
just
calling me
like,
Jim. Like, I've been seeing you for 7 years,
yeah,
and I say just call me Jay every time I see you.
yeah,
And you call me Jim every time I come in there, which means you don't think about me before. Not that like you need to obsess about me, but like, do you
think
know
about
who
you
I
in
am?
the moment. Yeah,
Yeah, like, am I a stranger? I shouldn't be a stranger at this point. So I
Yeah.
fired his ass and showed him my balls anyway. You're not getting away that easy. Take a look at that.
What do you think of
Mister,
this?
Zoom in. Anyway,
Off the floor.
all right.
Okay, two quick
Okay, all right,
quick
quick.
shout
Yeah,
outs
yeah,
here
yeah.
for
All
social media things.
Yeah.
The Colts offensive line got a
Yeah.
lot of play yesterday because of this was like the sequel to when there were defensive linemen sitting on a bench whose names were Dingle and Barry.
That's not great.
No, that was for West Virginia. The Colts line, I think this was in the huddle, had French and Fries. I think they were both the guards at some point. Probably not starters, but French Fries, shout out to you. And I believe the tweet was yes, please.
Yes.
And send a shout out to I Love Fries. Also, this is the month where we get inundated and have to act, and people act like they care about the Little League World Series.
Oh, God.
Well, this was another thing that got sent to us like 1,000 times, which I appreciate because it means like for those things, we're top of mind for people.
Yeah, that's great.
On the Missouri team, Brody Jackson said his occupation he would want, chicken nugget taste tester.
Who wouldn't want that job?
Yeah, you know what I said? Get in line, kid.
Yeah, right. Pay your dues, youngster.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not at least pre-diabetic, then don't talk to us.
If you're not, just have some of those Twinkie bouncers and you'll be well on your way.
Exactly. So, shout out to everybody who sent us those and to those people involved.
Okay, sounds good. I've got other stuff, but we're late. I will save it for next week. That's called a tease, mister. It is time now to ask the Fats.
Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been 1 week since my last confession. Okay, my son. What is your confession?
I'm fat.
Ask a Fat, the phone version, is brought to you by Charlie the Bacon Guy. Leave us a message, 708-858-3314. Charlie is out in a deep woods, so this is the voicemail for the next 2 weeks, so pay attention.
Thanks, Jay. This week we have maple pepper, chorizo, and raspberry chipotle. Bacon jams, we have the original, the bourbon, and the peach habanero. I'm thinking about a new flavor of bacon jam for the month of September and beyond. We'll see what it turns out as. Don't forget about merchandise, t-shirts, hockey jerseys, stickers, and those winter hats. The ball caps are not ready yet, but I'm told they are almost done. Who knows? Patience is key. They're pretty awesome.
They're in your CX-5.
Have a great week. Eat tons of bacon. For the Bacon Report, I'm Charlie the Bacon Guy.
Oh, Lordy. Yep, they might be in my CX-5, those hats. But hey, get yourself one when they're ready. I've seen the, what do you call it, like the mock-ups?
Yeah.
And they look pretty sweet, and I'll be rocking one, that's for damn sure. How do you get bacon from Charlie? Very easy. Send him an email, charliethebaconguy@gmail.com. He's on Instagram at charliethebaconguy and on Twitter at czthebaconguy. Slide into those DMs and get in touch with Charlie and start the process for purchasing yourself some delicious bacon. All right, let's get to the voicemails. Again, if you want to leave us a message, the number is 708-858-3314. I look to my left every time because somehow I have not remembered the number, even though we're at episode
Kind of
157.
Yeah.
Somewhere in, yeah. All right, here we go.
Hey, Fats. How you guys doing?
Fine.
Just got over the good old COVID, yeah. Ran on vacation, too, and on my birthday. It sucked ass, but I just want to know if anybody has ever encountered a 20-ounce of RC Cola at all. I've seen it once at a store, a fish market, and showed a picture of an RC Cola 20-ouncer. If anybody ever finds this, or let me know. I'll drive right up there. See you guys. Bye.
So a 20 ounce is like, that's not a liter.
No, that's just like
Like your
that's
typical
just like a bottle.
Like gas station bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know if I've seen it in like specific
7-Eleven's got a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, 7-Eleven does. And now that I've been doing a lot of highway driving, Pilot feels like it has everything.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something that could be an option. I know by me, my favorite non-deep dish pizza place, Dominic's in Villa Park, they have like cans, 20 ounces, and 2 liters of RC. So whenever I get pizza from there, I also order RC. It's just a matter of if I want like a 20 ounce or do I just want to have a 2 liter and just kind of have it around for the week.
Okay, is Diet RC still around or is it Diet Right? Because Frato's has on their fountain, I had it today, it says Diet RC. But I don't know if I've seen Diet RC anywhere. It might just be like an old placeholder on the machine.
Maybe.
Because I know Diet Right was always like kind of their answer to Diet Pop.
I'm not sure.
RC is so freaking good.
It is. It is like the profile of that versus Coke or something else, like, or Pepsi, is that it pairs best with pizza. I will die on that hill.
That's right. That is 100% correct. I got to look for Diet RC. I got to look harder for it. But yeah, all right, good tips on that. Here's the next one.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Jay. This is Nick from Oak Forest. Jay, I heard on the last episode that I listened to, you were lamenting that there weren't any good fries anywhere anymore. So I want to give you 2 recommendations. They're a bit closer to you. Rick, they'd be a little bit further away from you. Maybe when you're at Jay's, you could try them out. So the first place, it's in Homewood. It's called Lavoot. It's on Ridge Road. I don't know the exact address, but it's like a French bistro type place. A little bit pricey, somewhat upscale, but excellent, excellent food, even beyond just the fries. But the fries are cooked in duck fat. They're delicious. The Lavoot burger is delicious. Pretty much everything there is delicious. My other recommendation, a place called Nicky V's in Oak Forest. Classic Chicago-style hot dog stand. Cheese fries are excellent. Pretty much anything they put their cheese sauce on is excellent. 6200 West 159th Street. Give them a try. let's see how they are on the podcast. Let us know. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. Talk to you next time.
All right, I've had Levoot, and I've had their fries. You know they're fancy because they're called frites at Levoot.
Oh, yeah.
And they are
Levoot.
delicious. Levoot. That is Spanish for the vault. French for the vault. Because it's an old bank. The hotel is a bank. It's cool.
Yeah.
I've had that. I have seen Nicky V's. It used to be called something else. I want to say it was Don's.
It was Nicky Z's.
It was Don's, but not the Don's that I exploded.
Oh, okay.
It was a different Don's, and I had the Statue of Liberty on top. And I went in there once. I'm like, this place kind of sucks. But then there was like new ownership, and now it's got a different name. So I'll try it. I've been driving by it, kind of like
somewhat intrigued. Yeah,
somewhat intrigued. Yeah,
but skeptical. And
now that I have a recommendation, I'm in. I will give it a shot. So that sounds good. All right, thank you so much for the recommendations. But yes, the Levoot in Homewood is very good, very upscale. I would say this, you know, I love it. I love Levoot, but if you're coming to Homewood, there's a lot better stuff than Levoot for a lot cheaper. Lassen's, if you're down for like down and dirty, like bar food, pizza, fifth quarter, outstanding. There's a lot of good stuff in Homewood. I'm from there, if I haven't mentioned that.
They're breaded.
I didn't even mean to hit that, but it kind of worked. All right, let's go to Ask a Fat.
Ask a Fat about this and that. It's time to chat with the Fats.
All right, first one here comes from Bab. He says, I contacted Moretti's and asked why, I can read, I swear, and asked, what did you do to your fries a year or so ago? And received a reply that they went with fries with the coating on them to keep them warmer longer. I replied, what's the point of keeping them warmer longer if they don't taste very good? I used to love the meatball sandwich with marinara sauce with jardiniere and french fries there. The french fries with any of the burgers and sandwiches there was really good. They changed their meatball recipe and French bread now, but I digress. So that's Moretti's. I've never been to Moretti's. That's like one of those Chicagoland institutions I've never been to. But this is my thing just kind of in general. If you've got something that works, stop changing it.
Right. Like, I think they're getting... I think because so many people now are not eating in restaurants, like they want to take things to go, there's been almost too much emphasis on the logistics of getting things home. Because it's like Bob said, if it's not good anyway, then what does it matter if you can get it home?
Yeah, I'd rather have a fry that traveled and got a little bit soggy that is still good than a crispy fry that sucks.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, yes. Like that, it makes much more sense. It's just a matter of just be smart about it.
And we got a note from our buddy Joe Zadralovich from Marishka's, and he asked someone in the market too, the potatoes, let's see, there was a potato shortage.
Okay.
Like Greco and GFS have told customers they're unable to distribute potatoes, so don't order them. The shortage may cause some customers to try to load up on potatoes, and then you're tasting potatoes that got maybe a little bit old, and that's why they're not as good.
So that'd be more of like a Gordon Greco move.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Oh, it's
been a while since
it's been at least a week.
Yeah, exactly. Since I gave so bad that it stopped Jay in his tracks.
Sometimes I need to
process it.
I gotta have the.
I mean, let's be honest.
Meme of the math in front of my face.
That's been my fatal flaw with making jokes. Is like I'm 3 steps ahead because it makes sense because I thought about it ahead of time. But when it's in the moment, everybody's like, "Boy, you really made us work for that one."
Yeah, no, it's okay because usually the payoff is really good, but sometimes my brain just doesn't get me there, and then you have to take me by the hand and say, "This is why." I'm like, "Oh, right."
Yeah.
Okay, that is actually very funny.
You know what that makes it? Not as good of a joke.
Are you implying that jokes are not good when you have to explain them?
Yeah, right. All right, next one from Jim. Jay and Rick, downstate fellow fat here.
Hello.
Love the show. Love your suit. He wrote that. Been a fan from day one. I have a favor to ask. My brother is about to be a colonel in the Air Force, and I cannot find the Peter Griffin...
The Colonel!
audio anywhere. I Just want an audio file to troll my brother with. Any help would be appreciated. I'd recommend something to eat down here, but it's probably just a horseshoe, so that's kind of boring. Keep up the good work. P.S. Rick got hosed by Odyssey.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes, I did send him
The Colonel.
I cut up the MP3 and I sent it to Jim because he took a shot at Odyssey, and that's bonus points.
Right.
Hey, good move losing to Bears, by the way.
Yeah, seriously. But it's okay. They're going to make the most of this year. Oh. Because this is a great year to have the Bears.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that company's awesome.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's just like, you step away for a while and you're like, oh, right.
Yeah. Like when we heard that the previous name of the company, which was Entercom, they're going to take over, and they're like, you know what? We want to be able to run Chicago like Buffalo. It's like, good luck with that.
Very similar, right?
Yes.
Yes. And it's always good when you make a new company name that you have to spell in all your advertising.
Yes.
What is it?
Yeah.
Odyssey? No, it's Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh, how do I spell that? A-U-D-A-C-Y. Good.
Yeah, you know what it's more of? An oddity. Because it doesn't make any sense.
I saw Russ Schneider tweeting at Mitch, all pissed that the app sucks.
Oh, and Rambling Grimace all the time does.
Yes.
I mean, like, the concept of the rewind function is great.
When it
great
works.
concept when it works,
Yes.
which is not often enough.
This is the Odyssey app is like French fries.
Yes.
In this day and age.
Right.
All right. Last email comes from Steve. Again, if you want to email us, I'm fatpod@gmail.com. He says, "Hey, Fats, I have recently rediscovered the joys of Tic Tac, quote, mints. I put mints in parentheses. You put them in quotes, actually, because they're labeled as, quote, artificially flavored mints. My question is, should they really be considered mints? I mean, my favorite flavors are the fruit-flavored Tic Tacs, specifically the orange ones. That's correct. I don't consider these mints because they're fruity in flavor. When I think of mints, I'm thinking of something I can eat or chew after very garlicky food or after drinking a big cup of coffee. So while some of the Tic Tac flavors may be minty, not even half of their flavors that I can buy are minty."
Yeah.
So interesting. So Tic Tac started as mints,
Yeah.
and now they brand all of their little Tic Tacs as Tic Tac mints, but it's like Tic Tac mints
really not.
orange, Tic Tacs mints fruit, and they're not mint at all. They're just fruit flavored candies.
Right. And you know that, like, orange is generally not my favorite flavor overall, but in the Tic Tacs, orange is
so
the goat.
good.
So good. That's one of the things for my brother Shane, for his birthday every year, I go to whatever Walgreens, and you know how they have like the pack, like the plastic container.
Yeah, like
that's
the
not
stack pack or whatever.
Yeah, the stack pack where it's like, like that big, which looks even bigger. Looks like the size of my head because my hand is huge and it's closer to the camera. But that big. And I'll get 4 or 5 of those because he'll just like, he won't just like put a couple in his hand and then pop them in his mouth. Nope, it's pop that sucker open and just back a few.
I will buy a box, like your individual box of Tic Tacs, and they're gone by the time I get home.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
100%.
That's one serving.
Yes, that is. Those are the furthest thing from mints.
Have you ever had the Coca-Cola ones?
No,
they're pretty good.
You're obsessed with Coca-Cola flavored things.
It's crazy. I love cola flavored stuff.
And yet with pop, want to find more RC.
I know. I need some RC.
Yeah. So you want Coke everywhere, but with Coke.
Right. Well, cola. Pepsi Cola, RC Cola.
Yeah. True.
So that
That's
works.
fair.
Yeah. I think that's all we got. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got some stuff for next week too already.
Yeah,
like,
we got some stuff in the hopper.
The hopper. All right. Those commercials are so annoying. Although they worked because it's still stuck in my head and they haven't been on air in at least 5 years.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
Last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, someone was asking about Brown's Chicken. I forgot there's a Brown's Chicken in Oak Lawn on 111th and Cicero.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go.
I know there's one randomly in Geneva.
I almost went through.
Or St. Charles. I don't know what it's considered. Either way, it's like on Roosevelt. So
yeah, they're still out there if you're looking.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at I'mFatPod. I'mFatPod@gmail.com to send in your questions, especially for our Weber Grill master that we will be speaking to early September 1st, something like that. We're recording that.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll be recording that. So get those questions in. We already got some great ones. We could use even more because I don't get to grill because I don't have any outside space. So I'm not as much of an expert, but I still have some questions of my own, but I want yours as well. For that, Patreon, TeePublic Shop. Everybody's been getting stuff from the TeePublic Shop.
Thank you.
Yes, we really appreciate that. So keep on on with that. Keep on on.
I
Who
liked
the hell
it.
I am.
Yeah,
Whatever.
go with it.
YouTube.com/I'mFatPodcast. Subscribe, rate, review, all that stuff. I'm not even going to go through the whole spiel this time. I'm just going to talk about it. So even though I'm wasting the same amount of time, I'm not actually doing the annoying thing.
Good job.
And the best thing you can do is check out our sponsors, Charlie the Bacon Guy, Mazda of Orland Park, and Frato's Culinary Kitchen. So for Jay, I'm Rick, and this is the I'm Fat Podcast.
All right, I think we got a lot accomplished here today.